Hi, I'm Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Book 101. Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He is the author of the book Life Lessons from the Deep Voice Man, no other than Mr. Luke Jean-Louis. Welcome to Book 101, Mr. Luke. And can you please introduce more about yourself?
Sure. I I was born and raised in New York City. I'm a life coach, a podcaster, and as well as a blogger, and I do a whole bunch of other things. But basically, my mission is to help educate people and to help them to escape the rat race. My goal is just to enlighten and inform people and so that's basically my life mission at this point. And so that's what I'm all about. I recently just self-published my first personal development book, so I'm really excited about that. Again, the life lessons from the deep voice man, and you know, I'm pumped and excited. The book is a distillation of all my knowledge. Well, maybe not all my knowledge, but a lot of it. And there's so much wisdom uh, within those pages. It's just crazy.
Congratulations, Mr. Luke, for sharing your knowledge to the world. And as a podcast host, too, let's empower each other. And what inspired you to write Life Lesson from the Deep Voice?
so it's interesting. I all my life I've been consuming, tons and tons of personal development material from books, from courses, from podcasts, from blogs, from YouTube videos, from coaching. And so I have all this knowledge. I soak it up and absorb it like a sponge. And I thought to myself, what am I going to do with all this knowledge? And I decided to put it in a book. Um, my goal is to create a series. It's not going to just be that one book, but my goal is to kind of share that knowledge with the world. I There's so many lessons in the book that cover so many different things, but definitely the one of the central messages that I want to highlight is the idea that one doesn't have to stay tethered to the traditional 9 to 5 grind. They could work from home. They could be location independent. They could acquire that time freedom. And that was a goal of mine. I'm so happy to have accomplished that goal. And there's an
Congratulations.
interesting backstory. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And Mr. Luke, how much of the book is rooted in your own life experiences versus fictional storytelling?
Sure. I would say that probably about half of the book is based on my personal stories, uh, personal life experiences. The other half is based on knowledge that I've obtained from books, from others, from blog articles and whatnot that really resonated with me, and I know would resonate with everyone else. And so many amazing stories that I've learned and life lessons. So I would say it's about half and half, so to speak.
Half and half. Not bad, Mr. Luke. And how did you choose the metaphor of the deep voice man to convey your lessons?
It's an interesting story. So for most of my life, most of my adult life, I've always received compliments on my deep, rich, melodious voice, and so many people told me that I should do something with my voice, and to essentially to monetize this gift. So I decided to start my own podcast. I created a show called the Deep Voice Man Show, and it was a hit. It took off. It's People have listened to it in over 110 countries and 6 continents. all 50 states of the United States of America. So proud of how successful the show's been. And but obviously, I want to branch out. I want to do coaching. I want to author books and whatnot. So, it's basically a personal brand that I've developed. I even trademarked the words "deep voice man." So it's a process to do that, and so I'm very excited about it. I want to take it as far as I can, but my goal is uh, to give as much value to others as I can. I'm sure the more you give, the more you get. It's all about being, as one guest told me on my podcast, you want to be selfishly selfless, and that's what I live to be every day.
Indeed, it's better to give than to receive, people. Let's talk about the themes and messages, Mr. Luke. What core message do you hope readers take away from this book, Life Lessons from the Deep Voice Man?
It's funny. There's so many messages or core messages. I'll just pick one or two. Obviously, the first one is what I like to tell people all the time: the three keys to success, or the three P's, so to speak. The first P is people. So you want to be around the right type of folks who inspire you, who motivate you, who mentor you, who educate you, and it's so important, for one, uh, when it comes to attaining their goals, to be around the correct crowd. I always use language learning as a great example. Whenever you want to learn a language, the best way to do it, they recommend, is that you go to the country where that language is the main uh, official tongue, so to speak. And because the language is ubiquitous, uh, you're very likely to master the language in the shortest amount of time possible, because everything in your environment, your surroundings is pushing you to learn the language, to speak the language, to read the language, to understand the language when it's spoken to you on the radio or on TV. And so it's just a night and day difference, versus if you were to try to learn a whole different language on your own solo. So many people try that. It's possible, but it's so difficult, has a high rate of failure. So one method has a high rate of success, another method has a high rate of failure. And the difference is the environment, the people. Just real quick, the second P is productivity, essentially not giving into procrastination and doing what you need to do every day consistently. And of course, the third P is personality. You want to do what you can to develop the personality traits of a winner, of a successful person. And these traits include courage, patience, assertiveness, happiness, gratitude, confidence, and the list goes on and on. So those are the three P's to success. If you can master the three P's, any goal that you want to accomplish is putty in your hands, really. And the second core message of the book is that uh, the best and simplest way to escape the rat race, which many people are desiring to do, is you want to create an audience. And the best way I found, for most folks, obviously I did a podcast, but for the average person, it would be to write. Writing is the foundation of all content. The writing plays a hand in everything, whether it's YouTube, whether it's self-published books, even podcasting as well. If you are a solo podcaster, where you don't have an interview-based show, but you're just doing monologues for each episode. So that is essentially the two core messages of the book that I would like to highlight.
Very well said, Mr. Luke. Very well said. Beautifully articulated. How do you balance vulnerability and wisdom when sharing a personal or universal truth?
Sure. Can you repeat the question just one more time?
How do you balance vulnerability and wisdom when sharing a personal or universal truth?
Sure. So obviously, to relate to people, you want to recite personal stories. particularly vulnerable stories. The more vulnerable the story, the better. Believe it or not, based on what I've found and what others have discovered, is
Mm.
that you know you don't want to be too scared to reveal yourself, because that's how you achieve that no trust like factor with as many people as possible. People want to relate to human beings, not to non-human robotic entities. So obviously for some people they may not want to go too deep and too vulnerable, which I understand. But for me it's a process. Obviously, I kind of get better and better with this all the time as I write. I reveal more and more of myself. You know, a lot of the books that I've written. I've written two other books, but they were in the business realm. But for the book I just released and for subsequent books, I feel that I'm going to get more into it. They're going to get more kind of autobiographical, and so, but you know, I believe that is the key. You know, you show yourself, you reveal yourself. That's how you get folks to know, trust, and like you. That's how you develop a following. People want to know the human being there. They want to. It's a personal brand, and that's how you build it.
A personal brand for sure. So, which lesson in the book was the hardest for you to learn or articulate?
Sure. So the hardest lesson for me to learn, there were quite a few tough lessons. I would say, trying to figure out what worked in terms of making money online. There was a lot of failure. Um, there was a lot of money wasted, but it was all for good because it was just a process to figure it out. I tried many different things that didn't work, like Thomas Edison and the light bulb. So I,
Yes, hundred
so
times.
yeah, so it's that was, I would say, the toughest lesson to learn. I could throw in another one. Also, you know, you also want to. I'm a very nice and trusting person, so you have to be careful with that. There are individuals out there with sort of what I would call dangerous personalities, and so you just have to be educated and informed on the about the warning signs. And I wish I had been given that education earlier in life. I sort of had to learn it the hard way, but that's what I'm all about. I'm trying to, you know, obviously educate the younger version of me that I, you know, give the younger version of me the educator I wished I had had at the time. So that's what kind of motivates. That's my north star when it comes to writing, and so that's sort of sort of
Yes.
my muse, so to speak. Yes.
Let's talk about the character and symbolism. Is the deep voice man based on a real person or an archetype or an inner voice, or how do you develop this character?
Sure. So, in terms of developing that kind of my kind of superhero name, so to speak, um, it didn't take too much imagination. I based it off the talent that I have, the compliments that I've been given. I was fortunate enough that I was able to go online and the deepvoiceman.com, that URL was available. So I was able to grab it. I was able to also trademark it, so to speak. So I was very fortunate. But I guess there wasn't. I don't know. I guess it took me a while to think of it, but it just kind of clicked. It just goes along great with everything. You know, people love deep voices. People view deep voices as authoritative, so it helps with coaching. It helps with paid speaking. It helps with the podcasting as well. And obviously, I can parlay that into to voice acting. So it covers so many bases, and so I love the deep voice man title, and I'm definitely going to keep it.
The deep voice man, indeed. And Mr. Luke, how does the book use symbolisms? Is it nature, silence, or a deep voice to explore life complexities?
Sure. I guess in terms of symbolism, um, there I do use a lot of analogies and metaphors in the book, and personal stories. And I suppose in terms of nature, I would say that obviously I always tell people that um, just like in nature, you have to go after what you want, the same way that a tiger or lion goes after uh, what he or she wants. You have to be that way. Obviously, you don't want to go around biting people, but in the introduction to the book, I tell people, obviously you're about to consume life-changing information. You're about to go from mediocre to marvelous, from a lamb to a lion. I mentioned that you're going to go from what some would consider a passive animal to a ferocious, strong, fierce, you know, uh, bestial entity. And that's how you have to view life. I tell folks you have to pretend that your life is a film, and that is the key. The number one podcaster, Joe Rogan, mentions this, teaches this, and it definitely resonated with me. You have to pretend your life is a motion picture. You're the protagonist. You're the hero. What would the hero of your life's flick do, and pretend there's an audience cheering for you, pretend your ancestors, or this may very well be the case, your ancestors, your loved ones that you've lost, they're watching you from on high, they're cheering for you. You don't want to let the audience down. You don't want to let your family down in heaven, and friends in heaven. So you want to accomplish, you have to go for it, you have to grab it, and you have to make life happen, because I always tell people life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you respond. And you need to leverage that 90% as much as possible. And you got to make things happen and be proactive.
Indeed, pre-active people are active every day and do it consistently, because that is one of the ingredients to achieve success. And let's talk about the writing process. What surprised you the most while writing this book? Did the final version differ from your original version?
Sure. So it's interesting, the writing process. Uh, how it happened was every day I wrote a little bit. I wrote a chapter, and each chapter in the book is pretty short. It's most of them are 1 or 2 pages. And each day I wrote what was called an atomic essay on TypeShare. And TypeShare is an awesome writing community where folks cheer each other on. We exchange praise. We exchange points called signal. So totally recommend it. So every day I would finish up an atomic essay, and I'd post it and share it on social media, share it with the world. And over time, when I had accumulated so many atomic essays from consistently writing them and typing them up every day, I thought to myself, I think I have a good book here. It's funny because I took all my life lessons that I had. I mean, well, they're not all my life lessons. I have enough for to write a subsequent books, obviously, but I took many of them and I put them into writing, and it was beautiful. I got so many comments. People said that my writing helped them to think. It made them think, and it put a lot of things in perspective. So I thought, obviously I can share this with the world, and I bundled up all those atomic essays into one book. I self-published it on Amazon KDP, and so many people in the TypeShare family purchased the book, which I'm so thankful for. It's like a beautiful circle community in TypeShare. And so that was sort of the writing process. Obviously, I became a better writer for it, and so happy about the process. As far as obviously whether it was like a finished product or I continue to improve the manuscript for the book, because the beautiful thing about KDP is that you can always update the contents of your book. So almost every day for a while, I was tweaking the the
Mm.
text of the book, just adding additional things and tweaks, and which made the book even better. So the book is really strong and has a lot of tremendous, profound wisdom, uh, and you won't be the same after you finish the book. You'll be a different person from the individual you were when you began reading.
Indeed, you are to empower. So, Mr. Luke, as an author, as a podcaster, what are your short term and long term goals?
Sure. So my short-term goals is I would like, obviously, uh, more and more coaching clients. My goal is to get to a point where I'm doing group coaching, right? And so that's important for me. So that's what I'm trying to accomplish and or will accomplish in the short term. Long term, I would love to be a Tony Robbins like figure. I would love to be a speaker, a paid speaker, a motivational speaker with a very popular YouTube channel and other social media channels that are very popular with best-selling books. So that is the long-term uh, plan for my personal brand. So I have it. I have the map. I have the roadmap, the blueprint. I just have to execute.
Good luck to your goals, Mr. Luke, and looking forward for your success. And what will be your advice, a piece of advice for those people out there who want to be an author as well as a podcaster?
Sure. So, if they would like to be an author, the process is not as difficult as you would imagine. You know, so many people have the goal of writing a book, but very few do. So, folks need to understand that it's a process. You want to have an outline, in some cases, or what you could do is you can write out an atomic essay like I did every day just for 30 to 60 days, every day writing an atomic essay around the same topics. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but similar. And then over time, you're going to have a book, you know, just like that. And you just want to understand that it's one or two pages at a time. Make the chapters short, make them concise. People want books with no fluff, no filler. So just make just a little bit of advice there and add your personal stories. People want that human element, and so critical. You can also talk about stories of others that you know or you heard of or read about. And so many people have so much wisdom inside of them. I tell people all the time that they have 100 personal stories between the day they were born and the day they ended third grade. So don't underestimate the knowledge that you have and how valuable others would find it.
And share to the world, people. If you have a talent and you're willing to share to the world, please do stop procrastinating. Share your talents to the world. And thank you for your advice, Mr. Luke. And let's talk about the legacy and future. If you could share one lesson from the book with your younger self, what would it be?
Sure. So I would say one lesson I would say for my younger self is that there's so many lessons, so it's hard to choose one. Uh, but since you're compelling me to just choose one, I'll say this. Um, I would say it's with it's the lesson that I teach in the first chapter. You know, pretend your life is a film and you're the star of your own movie, and people are cheering for you in the audience. There's always someone watching, right? And in that movie, there's a guide, there's a coach who's going to show you the way. You listen to him, or you listen to them. It could be more than one person, and you follow their advice. And this is someone who has traveled the path that you want to walk on, and you just take the advice, take the criticism, and imagine your life's a movie. People are rooting for you. Make those people happy. Make those people proud. And that is I guess, the legacy lesson I would share. And so that is the lesson. Yes.
Indeed, a great lesson, and congratulations for that. Mr. Luke, do you feel this book as a part of a larger conversation about modern life's challenges like mindfulness, purpose, and resilience?
Absolutely. In the book, I talk about how meditation and mindfulness are uh, one of the keys to happiness, along with gratitude. And meditation and deep breathing are so vital for one's mental and physical health. So that is a success habit that winners practice. So that is you know, very very important. And I would also, if I get a chance, I do want to offer a gift to your audience, just real quick. I do offer a free email course called The Everyday Man's Guide to Unlimited Success. And if you're interested in that free email course, all you'd have to do is head over to my website, deepvoicecoach.com. Again, that's deepvoicecoach.com. And all you have to do is plug in your email, and you'll get that free, uh, short email course with some great, profound wisdom in your inbox for five days.
Indeed, and thank you so much for that, Mr. Luke. I want to salute you for that. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge to the world. So before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry second season, book 101 review, and of course fifth season two, comedy 101 in second season, food 101 in fifth season two, geography 101 and love letters are in third season, and my baby podcast Mental Health 101, Movie 101 Review and Music 101 and fourth season, Science 101 and Sex 101 in first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Luke, what's next for you as an author, as a podcaster? Will be there a sequel, or are exploring new themes, or another podcast to be published?
Sure. So I don't think I'm going to do another podcast. I'm probably going to stick with the Deep Voice Man Show podcast. As far as what's in the pipeline, I'm working on my second book. I want to debut soon the life lessons uh, 2 2.0 for the deep
Yes.
voice man. And so I'm working on that. So important for me to have a series of books that share my knowledge and wisdom. And I'm continuing to acquire knowledge and wisdom. I'm always on a perpetual mission to absorb as much wisdom from others as I can. I'm always devouring self-help books and literature, so I can learn more and more, and so I can to benefit myself and my clients and readers and listeners. So that is sort of in the pipeline. Continuing to coach, continuing to promote coaching, and to write and self-publish, and want to get into paid speaking, and just to continue to build my audience. Yes.
Yes, and looking forward for your success, Mr. Luke. And are you having an audiobook for your life lessons from the Deep Voice Man?
There is an audiobook available.
Yes.
Yes.
Indeed. So, Mr. Luke Jean-Louis, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge to the board through podcasting and through your books. Can you please invite our listeners to support your podcast as well as your books or upcoming books?
You got it. Absolutely. If you guys want to support me, that's amazing. My book, Life Lessons from the Deep Voice Man, is available on Amazon. My podcast, The Deep Voice Man Show, is available also on Amazon, Spotify, Apple, Google, and others. But definitely, please go to my website, thedeepvoicecoach.com. Check out my free email course, the Everyday Man's Guide to Unlimited Success. You won't regret it. It's a great course, and it's a fast read for the next 5 days. So definitely check it out.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Luke Jean-Louis because if you support him, more and more and more empowering books to come, more and more and more empowering episodes to come, and for sure, more empowering coaching to come. So, Mr. Luke, thank you so much for your time.
You got it. Thank you for having me on the show as a guest. I would love to come back in the future. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. More to come, people. See you soon.